Hello and welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast. We're at episode 830. After a week, we're back. We apologize. I know that the dozens of people were disappointed by our absence, but we're back. We're going to make it up. We're going to get to 900. Tony Hawk can get to 900. We can get to 900 because we're on that same level. I'm Sebastian Peak.
I'm a confused Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm Josh Walrath.
I'm feeling slightly better. Thanks for all the well wishes. You know, those of you who actually did some well wishing. I'm not sure. Yeah, some people did. Some others were ill. Wished me ill. But for those of you who wished me well, I appreciate it.
Who are you again?
Brett Van Spernberg.
Brunt Vanderberg.
I've lost my mind.
Is back.
And I'm Kent Burgess.
So in case we didn't make it clear, this is episode 830. It's July 23, 2025. And we're going to move to the Patreon segment of our show instantly. Brett, please take it away.
You know, it's just all about G. Aker. No, I'm not really sure how to pronounce the whole ACKER, but they know that they're epic and they absolutely know why. Could be Aker, but no, it isn't. No, it's Aker. I'm going to go with that. They're epic. Thanks for the well-wishing and get well soons for the Patreon members who did so. Thank you. You know who you are. Thanks very much.
We go to Laramie, Wyoming. Josh, take it away.
You know, it seems just like 2 minutes ago that we did Patreon, and I thought I had more time to prepare, more time to get interested in what I'm about to say. My wife is continuing to text me, but I silenced it. So let's talk about the weekly special. It's called The Cowboy Dog. It's an I'll be frank, topped with white onion, diced bacon, mac and cheese sauce, candied jalapenos, and a tangy mustard. All for $12.99 served with fries. And you know what? Even though it's like 2 or 3 weeks later than National Hot Dog Day, I got it. And you know, it's pretty dang tangy. It was good. The candied jalapenos really took it up a notch. The bacon was nice and peppery. And then, of course, you know, the mac and cheese sauce actually had some mac in there. So, yeah, this was a good lunch.
4 food groups.
It filled me up. What's that?
All four food groups in one.
Yes, dairy, meat, veggies, and grains. Yep. Oh. Yeah. So it's like pizza, except maybe better. I don't know, but yeah, I was born in a barn, and it was tasty, and it filled me up. And I exercised tonight, and I was like, yeah, that is a rock in my stomach. Not fun, but I pushed through.
Let us move to the PC Perspective news desk, and our first story, in no particular order, from Tech Power Up, upcoming architecture from AMD. We talked about this a week or two ago. AMD RDNA 5 or UDNA, whatever they're going to be calling it, could feature 96 CUs and a 384-bit memory bus. Now, there weren't enough CUs with the 9070 XT to make it a real flagship. But the architecture is so much improved that there's just the promise of taking it back up to 96. And with that much memory bandwidth, GDDR7 is assumed here. I mean, we're assuming a lot, but if this is the case, Josh, others on the podcast panel, do you think that this could make AMD competitive with NVIDIA once again? Now, especially now that they figured out ray tracing.
It depends on what they price it at. So if they've got a pretty high-end chip like this, right? See? And they charge like $1,200 for it, which is, of course, cheaper than what NVIDIA's doing because their MSRP is $19.99, and you can pick one up for the low price of $26.99. And if they can provide nearly the same performance, it's a huge win. And add out of that, RDNA 4 is... Wait, is it RDNA 4 that we're on? Or is it 5? It's 4. With the 9070.
Yeah, it's correct? 4. Yeah.
It's a really efficient architecture. The 9070 XT with the latest drivers is now essentially outperforming the 5070 Ti. They exist very close in terms of power, overall specs, but AMD is really pulling it out. The only thing that is, of course, bad about it, not bad, but not as strong, is the ray tracing performance is not as good as the latest 5000, but it's a huge improvement from the RX 7000 series. So, no, I've been quite impressed with what AMD has done with the 9070 XT, and I mean, we don't see as many 9070s out there. Most people seem to be going for the XT. And then, of course, the 9060 XT 16 gig is actually available at MSRP. So you look at something that is, half as powerful, plus a higher, the RDNA 5, a smaller process node that will make it more power efficient. You're looking at a pretty significant improvement at the high end, especially when you're throwing in a wider bus and GDDR7, because right now it's all GDDR6 for AMD, and they perform very, very well against competition. And plus, you can now get one for under $699, a 9070 XT.
Yeah, which kind of fixes the issue we had at the beginning, where for $20 more often, you could get an extra X. You could get the XTX. The pricing was weird until it sort of settled down again.
Yeah.
Although, honestly, if you still see an XTX for $20 more, get it. There's no reason not to.
Yeah. No, it's the 9070s are harder to find, and their prices are not as good as what you find with the 9070 XT. So, yeah, there's no real reason to get a 9070, even though they were, still solid cards for the price. But yeah, RDNA 5, AMD for a long time, they suffered financially, let's say, and to right the ship, they thought, okay, the best way to do that is focus on CPUs. We'll keep our GPUs alive. Majority of R&D goes to, CPUs, hiring engineers, retaining engineers, and the GPUs were, we saw them suffer from the RX 5000 series. RX 6000 were okay, but you saw from the 4000 to 5000 to 6000 to 7 a steady decline in market share. So that when the 7900 XTX was the top end, AMD only had, was it 5% or 10%?
Oh,
I think it was like
somewhere
5%.
Yeah.
It was like 5% of the market share of new cards sold. And that's just nothing. And so the 9070 series, it's boosted them quite a bit. They're selling a lot more. We don't have real good market share numbers yet, but it looks like they're improving. I mean, even like MindShare, even though they got taken over by somebody else, they're still on a lot of cards. And partners have got plenty of stuff coming out. Last couple of weeks have been great for prices going down. And, as Sebastian reviewed the 9070 XT from XFX, it just is an incredibly capable part for the price, and it just keeps going lower. But our RDNA 5 sounds like it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be a significant improvement per clock, but there's going to be improvements. They're probably going to improve ray tracing again, and then you're going to get power and clock speed improvements from going to 4 nanometer? Or are they 4 nanometer now? Or are they 5? Gosh darn it, take that back up to the 9070
I closed the specs window too soon.
You sure did.
Now, let's see.
But I think it's going to be a 3 nanometer when you're looking at the second half of 2026.
I think it's 3.
I mean, even
it's 4 right now.
Yeah, so it's going to be 3. And there's a significant jump between 4 and 3. And TSMC is going to be, introducing 2 nanometers. So guys like Apple will be grabbing a bunch of those wafers, even though those wafers are going to cost about $27,000 to $29,000 a piece to process.
Apple is happy to pay the R&D on this.
They are, and plus, the Apple chips are still relatively decently sized, and so yields are not, horrific. It's not like you've got a supersized GPU on a 2 nanometer wafer and only 3 of them come out good on this new cutting edge stuff. So, yeah, no, I think that AMD is in a great place, and they're starting to see some really good turnout of their products and some throughput, and look like they're executing. So yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. But a top end chip like that should be very competitive with the top end of what NVIDIA has at that time.
And competitive is the word, because right now the 9070 XT, it took AMD from whatever position they were in before with the 7900 XTX and XT. It was not especially competitive. This is so much more so. And if you think about the fact that you were going to add, 32 more compute units to what we already have, even if it's exactly the same IPC, you're adding so many more compute units, and it's 256-bit bus right now, 384. Obviously, the memory bandwidth would hold it back with just GDDR6, even if you did increase the CU count. But I'm very interested. They don't even need higher clocks. 3 gigahertz is fine. Let's just have more memory bandwidth.
How long ago do you think they planned this, do you think, if they'll really do it? Do you think this is more recent because they have such good success?
No,
it's like 3 years to do a GPU.
It's 3 to 4 years to roll out a new GPU, especially this latest generation. I mean, it's 80-some billion transistors. It's just, that's the complexity is insane. And I mean, the software guys who, do a lot of the automated place and route of these designs and the hand place and route in specific areas, it's nuts. I mean, they can, they can do a small unit and then multiply that unit across multiple things, but then you got to connect them all to a bus, and it's just, you got clock domains. I
was thinking of the CU edition. Was it just a CU edition with just a CU edition? But it's not really that. So
no, it's a lot. So, but yeah, it takes at least 3 years from start to finish to get a test wafer out with the new GPU.
So the whole, we're not going to 10 months. We're not competing on the high end. We're not competing on the high end. That was
they wanted to. They had stuff that they were developing to be
but they had to cut it
competitor. But yeah.
They don't feel right charging $2,000 for a GPU, so they decided just not to do it.
If they wanted to do that, they would happily do that if they could sell some. But no, it's all engineering resources. They could, get a small chip and a medium chip out and gain market share by doing it really well, or they can get a small, medium, and large chip and possibly be 6 months later than they were and have issues across all three. So they chopped the top end and said, you know what, let's focus on the meat of the market. And I think they've done really well, especially the 9060 XT 16 gig at $359, and actually you can buy it at $359 is awesome.
Yeah. It's this generation's RX 480 or 580.
Yeah.
Adjusted for inflation, it's not $249, but it's still a heck of a card for the price. More than enough RAM to last you for years to come.
Yeah.
But you know what? AMD, speaking of, resources and their bread and butter and the Threadripper, it's meaty. I guess that's not really bread and butter, but it goes with bread and butter. I mean, who doesn't like bread and butter with their pot roast, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And this Threadripper Pro 9995WX, the Cinebench score, the all-important Cinebench R23 score, according to this video card's report, 186,800 points in Cinebench R23 multi? That's obscene.
And it's like right around 950 watts draw. 950 watts draw.
Fine.
Is that
and it's sitting there at 5 gigahertz, solid
on an
Let's look at some
AIO.
numbers here.
It's not even on liquid or
I
extreme
don't
cooling.
think you're going to
on an
air
AIO.
cool this one because it
Oh,
was
does-
almost 100 Celsius on the liquid cooler.
Well, it's an AIO. It was running 98C, I believe,
Yeah.
on an AIO, 5 gigahertz all core.
Max wattage 947 watts at 71.8% average load.
Impressive.
I did not know that Cinebench measured that. They must have some sort of HW info or some kind of
Oh
integration.
yeah, well I mean they're measuring F clock and U clock and a bunch of other things there too. So yeah, they've
That's an obscene amount of power draw,
enhanced.
if true.
Is there fine print that says, "Oh, phase change is technically an AIO"?
I mean, as long as it's all in
Yeah.
one.
Years ago, I reviewed a phase change CPU cooler that was just a big tower cooler that had it built in.
Yeah, I remember one of the first ones that came out. It took the Athlon to 1 gigahertz, and it was, but you had to turn it on and let it get to negative 40C, negative 40F.
Yeah.
Crossover point. And
Before.
yeah. So let me ask you this, Sebastian. Do you think this Threadripper is Johnny Shee's favorite product name?
I think it might be. I think he's waiting for
product
you.
name. It's a great product name. I'm continue to be confused because the next story we're going to talk about AM5, and I'm looking at a picture of a Ryzen, and of course, Epic is Ryzen and Ryzen is Epic, and Threadripper's somewhere in there in the mix. And
Wait, are you saying what's his name is Ein?
Ein, like the corgi from Cowboy Bebop?
No, I'm thinking
Yeah.
Eingold is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn.
You've completely lost me, but there are people out there who understand the reference.
It's
No doubt.
true.
They'll get
As
it.
we move on,
Get it? No doubt.
Well,
To the
before
next
we move on,
story.
we did skip one part.
which was
We didn't mention how many cores were running at 98 Celsius.
well, it's an Epic, so it probably is an obscene number, of course.
96
Yeah.
96 cores.
with 192 threads. Or you could just turn off multi-threading and make it more secure, and you'd still have 96 threads.
That was an Ace Ventura reference, according to Reed in the chat, and I apologize. I should know that. Required viewing for any cinephile, obviously. Our next story, AMD AM5 motherboards revised for next-gen Zen 6 Ryzen CPUs. This is a report at Hardware Times. And among other things, I saw this in our chat earlier. I don't know who posted it, but I saw it in the public chat in Discord. This little infographic of the memory module installation recommendation from this upcoming revision is it's instructive, but also just perfectly demonstrates that unless you pay very careful attention or have studied such diagrams, the nuances of installing memory and getting it working properly for the first time, it's interesting. For example, do you know that you always place your first dual channel bank on the far right? You don't start on the left. Even though it says A, you have to put it in DIMM B2.
Yeah, don't put it in the Dimmadome. Put it in
and
the
A2.
DIMM.
But if you only have one DIMM, it goes in A2, not A1, A2. Just so you know. And if you're using 4 DIMMs, you just populate all 4 slots. But then it doesn't run as fast.
You use all 4 if you have 4 DIMMs. That's
4 DIMMs. There are 4
Therefore,
DIMMs.
yes. So there are changes, apparently, which is sad. Hopefully, buyers of expensive AM5 motherboards can still upgrade to the next CPU. But
I would suspect.
there is
Yes.
a new memory controller setup. There will be 2 memory controllers, 2 IMCs.
Oh, that sounds like a brilliant freaking idea.
So
that'll never.
Look, it could be, because remember VCD RAM back in the day? Virtual channel?
Why would you bring that up?
Yeah, well, but also,
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about a lot of these, boards that are just going to 2 DIMMs, I mean, just at first glance, you're just going to have better performance and a greater trace optimization with only 2. And so they can tighten things down quite a bit with only offering 2, and you got to stick with 2 DIMMs and not try to do 4, and they don't have to engineer a board with all the complexities of all the traces making, there's a reason why the traces are Ziggy, because all the tracers need to have the same overall length to get good performance. So if you have traces that are not Ziggy, you've got, 30% longer traces going to memory at one end of the DIMM, and these things are going so fast that it causes issues. So that's why when you look at traces, they got the little Ziggy lines in there because they want to keep the distance between all of the pins as close as possible to being the same amount of distance. So anyway, when you only have 2 DIMMs, a lot of that complexity goes away, and the cost of the board will probably go down, and you're going to have better overall performance and tighter timings. So yeah, I can see why they do this. It may not just be a DDR6 thing. I mean, not a DDR6, but a Radeon. Ryzen 6th generation.
Nope.
AM, American Motor
AM or PM.
AM5, AM6.
AM5. Oh gosh, dang it! It's been one of those days.
More importantly, though,
the Zen 6 core.
Yes, they are rumored to go to 6 gigahertz, which that'd be nice. Intel did that once, and now the memory standard can be raised to DDR5 6400, which is nice. So
they're gonna change like the F clock. And
I hope so, because you wouldn't want to run DDR5 6400 without that. Yes.
Makes sense, though.
Whoa, 12
because,
core
the common
CCDs.
complaint is, if I go Intel, I could get much higher frequency on my memory and it doesn't hurt and everything.
Ooh.
It's like, and you will gain a millionth of a frame.
Yes, the next generation CCDs look like they're going to be based on 12 cores rather than 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That'll be a nice upgrade. Because cores are getting small as compared to cache and IO stuff. So that's why these chips currently are relatively tiny, and the cache far exceeds the space for all those cores.
Hey, real quick, let's go further into this AMD memory topic. A deep dive into Ryzen 7000 and 9000 memory tweaking. Sit back, grab yourself a cold beverage, and let's get really, really technical. Or actually, no, just go to OC Inside. That's the source for this. And they did all the work. So you can just peruse.
Apologize for their formatting. The article is not pretty, but it is technical.
It is very technical, and it's that old school kind of hardware review look, where you have as many pages as possible to maximize the ad views.
Yeah.
But if you're not sure whether it's the F clock or that U clock or the M clock that you're supposed to be tweaking, this will give you much more information than you ever thought you needed to know.
Now, Expo might get you there, but when maybe it doesn't. It might get you there. So, Jeremy, I believe they have a utility or a tool here that.
There's a couple.
Picks up your timings.
You want Zen timings if you're trying to overclock a modern Ryzen system, because your BIOS does not give you this information. The CPU-Z is not going to give it to you.
Right.
Even, Ada 64 that we love is not going to give it to you in the same format that this does. So this gives you every single bit of the timings on your Ryzen, which are significantly broader and more comprehensive than you might think if you've never played with this before. So Expo is nice when it works. You plug and away you go, and everything's fine. But if you want to try and get your system running 1-to-1 at 6.4 gigahertz, you may be able to do it with a good DIMM and a lot of work, because they did.
Yeah, some of this is CPU dependent. Yeah. They talked about the fact that their 7800 X3D they were using for RAM testing did not like one-to-one F clock with 6400.
No.
But
and if you look at that very bottom, which is where they did the good thing, they're increasing performance by 1/3, not by 2 or 3%. No, we're jumping 30-some%.
That's in this particular ADA test, just to point that
or
out.
3D Smart Time Spy.
Yes.
Or Calc Bench. It's
memory
not
intensive
just
tasks.
Yes. It's not going to give you an extra 30% of your frame rates. Sorry. But it will give you bragging rights and will actually make things run faster. To a certain extent.
Or if you're one of those people who like to run older games, then CPU is going to be holding you back because it's not going to be GPU bound anymore. Let's see here.
No, Makona, we just explained why quad channel is not a thing anymore.
But what about triple channel?
That was just weird and not a good idea.
I don't know. That chipset lasted a long time, and those CPUs were very, very popular. 3 by 2 gigabyte DIMMs were the sweet spot. Yeah, it was.
Cam.
Next up from Hardware Lux, Andreas Schilling over there. This is translated from German. Nova Lake is said to have completed tape out. As semi-accurate reports, a future product or chip at Intel is said to have achieved the important milestone of tape out. And I'll let you research tape out on your own if you're curious. So it's going to be one of those complicated architectures that Intel does now. And so it is possible that while TSMC is mentioned here, it may be a combination of TSMC and Intel, or are they using this TSMC, I assume it's a TSMC tape out, as a possible fallback in case 18A is not what they go with? Obviously, we already talked about the fact that 18A is not going to be used for external customers. What if they don't use it internally at all? What if the next Intel processor is just made at TSMC entirely?
That could also be caging supply or caging the amount of volume on lines. Say, hey, if this does actually sell, can we borrow, a little bit of your 18A?
Well, it's also potentially because it's chiplet. They probably will use products from both. Maybe the slower clocked I/O die will be 18A, while the more available, faster core, CPU cores will be TSMC. I don't know, but glue them all together. I don't care as long as they work.
Right, glue them all together. What could
these aren't
possibly
chiplets?
happen?
Remember, these aren't chiplets. They're tiles.
Right,
you have to remember that.
Chiplets are just
very different. Very different.
Right. And it's not glued together; it's fused because AMD glued together.
These are grouted.
It's designed.
They're put in with grout.
Yes.
Yes, we're talking over each other. Sorry. All right, moving on. NVIDIA is adding native, is it RISC-V or RISC-V? I don't know. Or care.
RISC-V.
Support to CUDA.
Well, this essentially pulls a monopoly, right? Because x86, ARM, and Power 9 all happily running CUDA without having to do weird transition layers and having a negative impact on that super expensive hardware you bought from NVIDIA. So they finally said, well, you've got Alibaba over in China that's really, really pushing these new RISC-V processors that are not necessarily quite as powerful as they say they are, but are certainly going to sell. And NVIDIA and AMD are allowed to sell there again. So it makes a lot of sense to say, you know what? Let's invest a little bit of time and money. We can get RISC going without interfering with CUDA's performance. We get it natively supported, and besides, we've already got a bunch of RISC processors involved in CUDA. Like the physical hardware, there are RISC interposers in between all of the other interesting high-powered stuff in there. So it's not like they've completely unaware of this architecture. So yeah, it's going to be a wild ride when you are essentially putting in the most expensive AI hardware into the least expensive architecture. It will be an interesting mix, but I guarantee you it's going to happen. And Jensen is buying more spatulas as we speak.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a RISC-V proposition.
It does, doesn't it?
It writes itself.
The real reason that Jensen collects so many spatulas is actually to shield himself from Wi-Fi interference, because, you know, each of us are blocking Wi-Fi in our own special way. For Jensen, it's colored spatulas, but Who-Fi can tell us apart, writes Jeremy Hellstrom. As you see this picture here from a show called Star Trek: The Next Generation. See Data and LaForge there at the helm.
But do you recognize the actual quote?
No.
This is the native Earth, the ugly bags of mostly water. Which was the first thing that came to mind, because, see, the thing about Wi-Fi is, hey, it's great for transferring data, as long as you don't care about latency too much, but it can do a lot of other interesting things, like see through walls or translate ASL, because you can map the interference patterns. Well, a couple of researchers realized that, wait a second, all of these interference patterns from people look slightly different. Could it be that we've got some sort of a weird fingerprint and every single person blocks Wi-Fi in a unique and identifiable manner?
We resonate when excited at a particular frequency.
Yes, we do. And so they have done a proof of concept to be able to say that, yes, we can literally identify somebody based on their Wi-Fi interference. So you could track them through a building because, as I mentioned, it can see through walls. I mean, the data doesn't go through walls so well, but as I'm sure you've run into people that's like, why is my Wi-Fi chopping out all the time? It's like, you live in a bungalow and you are at the very far side of the house and the router is in the garage on the other side. But
and every time your bro goes to the bathroom, he steps between you and the router.
And now you'll be able to know it was him. But the creepy thing about this is that Wi-Fi fingerprint is unique to you regardless what Wi-Fi network you're interfering with.
Yeah, so man, but what if I stand like this?
You can try, but you're going to be wanting to hide behind a spatula or Jensen or someone else.
Because this is the thing, mystery deepens.
If Wi-Fi networks were set up with this Who-Fi, they could track you as you are moving through a city, as you are moving through the planet. You will pop up. Oh, that is that unique signature. We found you again.
Jeremy, the bad guys haven't gotten a hold of this technique yet, have they?
I mean, if they have, they haven't told us, and I mean, they definitely tell us if they did, right?
When I say the bad guys, I mean 3-letter government agencies.
Okay, but you've got to like hack thousands of individual routers.
Yes, you do.
That
Tens
can't be
of
done.
Thousands.
That doesn't happen every week during Security Corner.
No,
except maybe
which is what this feels like, honestly. So I don't know why.
But only from small companies like Cisco.
Yes. So yeah, it is a little Security Corner, but it's nifty in the idea that, wow, I can finally figure out exactly who it is that's screwing up my network. And I'm also wondering, are there certain people that mess up a signal more so than others?
Are you saying they have an electromagnetic personality?
I am, and they might be wearing a tinfoil hat.
They probably are.
Yes.
Moving on to our next story. This one is a bit upsetting. It hits close to home. I had a text from Josh Tech Incorporated earlier today, and it was disturbing. Something to the effect of all those Silverstone cases I was having a hard time buying being scooped up by one MAINGEAR, because as this press release from today shows, MAINGEAR, the leader in premium quality high-performance gaming PCs, announced Retro 95, a limited edition PC drop that brings back the unmistakable style of 90s era horizontal desktop. Okay, so let's
sounds
go
familiar.
To that. Let's proceed past this block here.
Wait a minute.
The humanity. Look, they even added a green stripe in there.
Whoa, Mech Warrior.
Oh. And they added the strobe effect of the electron
Mortal
gun.
Kombat.
Now see,
sampled with a camera.
everything retro is cool again. You know, the 80s stuff we thought we would never see again, like portable cassette players and crappy headphones with orange foam. It's all back.
Why is the drink lying on the side?
Wait.
Mullets are back.
Also-
Young guys are sporting mustaches and wearing short shorts, and it's very odd. I don't understand
I thought
why
Quake was released in 96.
this is happening.
It was.
Josh, they just didn't update their calendar because they liked that picture.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
I think there's more thinking about the launch of Windows 95.
Well, then why
But
is SimCity
how
not
disappointing-
2000 sitting beside it?
How much better would it be if MAINGEAR was building classic stuff with either recreated or recapped vintage boards and getting you a legitimate license of Windows 95, fully loading it up with licensed copies of all the classic games and shipping it out.
Yeah.
Instead, it looks cool, and then it's just Windows 11.
Oh.
Go to GOG, I guess, if you want to play retro games.
Because I want a Trinitron CRT that's 17
Me too.
inches and can do 1024 by 768 at 75 hertz.
I think
I
I
want
got
one of
black.
the ones that
I have a black
Kay was
Dell
selling
one.
with the extra pixel.
Well, nice knock to a fan usage there, although I'm a little concerned about that corner. Why do you have fans competing in the corner like that? But,
A bit weird. I want to adjust my monitor
And
for
where they knocked
overscan.
you up.
Yeah, but you get a 5 1/4 inch, a usable 5 1/4 inch drive.
Yeah, look
Okay,
at that. They put
I'm
in a
sold.
DVD drive. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Who
And
else?
it can handle up to an RTX 5080. Can't get a 5090 in there, but you can do a 5080.
Yeah, they need a smaller one.
Can I fit one of those new Threadrippers in there?
96.
Watch
Let's
it
see.
melt.
Let's customize now, Jeremy. We'll find out together live.
Can you handle 100C?
We're doing it.
Oh, wait, it's a
live.
real throwback. It's got asbestos lining.
So,
Oh my-
we have to-
what?
we have
Does
to
it come
add
with
the optical drive.
$1,600?
Does it come with dust bunnies?
So are you going to provide your own?
Look,
Oh, if only you could do the 52X, Kenwood drive.
sorry.
Oh,
that
the
was
sound. The sound, Josh. It's like a jet engine.
No, not the Kenwood. The Kenwood was multi-laser.
Multi-spin.
Multi-laser,
Multi-spin.
No,
Yeah,
it was a
Multi-laser.
slower
Oh.
speed, but they were reading multiple
Yes.
tracks at once.
Oh, very cool.
Okay, the graphics card is only a 5050. This is a $1,600 system. Okay, I'm trying not to get upset. Let's put a 50.
This could be
Oh,
Jeremy's.
yeah.
This could be his hardware leaderboard.
Well, I think he just updated it.
Okay, 2564.
I haven't updated the high end yet, and there's no cases as of yet, but I do like the.
What is the processor?
Oh my
A
God, we're up
96
to 2,500.
Not a
And it's only a
9600.
9600X. Okay, obviously got to put the X3D in there.
Of course.
Now it's
Previously.
5,000.
20,
Oh,
Not
No,
quite
not
3K. Cooling.
That's not a. Okay, whatever. We'll leave the cooling alone. B650 board. No. Only 16 gigs of memory. Okay, this is
Yeah,
where I
well-
get spoiled because every time we look at Falcon Northwest, it starts at 32 gigs. It starts
Can
at.
you switch
higher
that
end
to 6,000? No, it's only 6,400. Okay, that's an
There's a
interesting
manually
choice.
configure that for a 1-to-1 F clock. Okay.
Yeah, if it doesn't get mad.
Only a 600.
Only one terabyte.
Why did it let
650?
me configure a 5070 Ti and leave it at a 650 power supply?
You
Even
can get away with
HP or
850.
Dell have you change the power supply in their configuration tool. Come on, main
Can
gear.
you make that professional instead of home too?
If you're watching this, main gear, come on. You got to do better than this.
3,000.
Okay, $6,000.
Where's Kelt?
And we're still going.
Help us tear this apart.
No. So anyway, the case is cool. It's from Silverstone. It's the FLP 01.
FLP. This is why you can't get it, by the way. I don't know if you knew this.
That's not
Can
fair.
I just buy the case?
No. I mean,
Not anymore.
I
supposedly
want
you
the
can, but you
O2,
can't.
by the way. I don't want the
Not
O1. I
anymore, you
want the
can.
O2. I want that stand-up one, and I want it to be beige, or that not quite beige. That
you want
everything.
the
turns-
tower with that,
The one that yellows
holder.
over the next 10
holder.
years.
You turn it and you stick it in that weird shaped thing.
Yep,
To get it.
exactly.
All right, let's talk about an SSD thing. Self-destructing SSDs. Obviously, there are times where you don't want your data to live forever. I don't know what you're up to, but maybe you don't wants persistent memory. You'd think you would just create a RAM drive, but no, you can create. Apparently, there's a Hackaday link here, so I'm assuming it's a.
No, just
you have to do it
give
yourself.
make it a RAID and give it to Ryan for a second.
He doesn't even need help. They'll just do it on his own.
Shiny red button.
So there's a button.
This is push the button. It's a little terrifying.
Did they give you wiring to bring the button outside the case, I assume?
Well, I have a feeling that is just them being silly.
Okay.
Because it's a software-based method that makes the magic smoke.
I'm a little disappointed.
No giant red button.
Oh,
but
come on.
Maybe you can buy one.
The picture that Jeremy used for the news article at PCPer.com was misleading. It made it look like it was physical.
It did.
No, the picture I used is not that picture. The picture I used was the one with a little tiny two-wire MPC cable going into it.
Disappointing.
Yes. But the terrifying thing was that it was actually 13 years ago when we were making fun of the last self-destructing drive, which did come with a button. Back in those days, we were, real. And so, it came with a red button and a green button, and the green button would just do a normal wipe, and the red button would release the magic smoke. So this one is new, and it does give you the chance to blow it up, but I don't think it comes with that red button.
This is nostalgic, because think back in the old days, there were self-destructing hard drives. You could buy the IBM Desk Star, I believe it was originally titled.
You never knew when it was going to
intentional self-destruct.
I don't know. It was known as the IBM Death Star to a lot of people. And of course, Maxter had a lot of self-destructing drives. So,
the percentages suggest it was on purpose, Brett.
Star.
Now, speaking of on purpose and destroying things, Belkin will soon be making Wemo smart products inoperable. They're going to be killing off.
It's a smart brick now.
Most of their smart home products. So,
I mean, it's like 30 plus pieces of gear here that they are just sort of dropping like a hot rock. The app is going to stop working. Of course, any firmware or updates will stop working. Anything that was necessary to route through one of their online distribution hubs or management interfaces will stop working. Before the end date, if one of the 7, I believe it was 7 available Wemo devices were essentially having their control transferred over to like Apple HomeKit, those will still work. But that's kind of it. It just seems to me the headline of this article is that companies are getting more and more used to abandoning devices that they've put out in the marketplace. And these people are using these to like manage parts of their home. These Wemo devices were doing things like making it look like your lights were turning off and on or doing automation pieces. Now, imagine people continue to use this sort of stuff, even on the HomeKit enabled ones. No security updates over a period of time. This is just yet another disaster waiting to happen. And look, I just don't know what we can do about this.
It would be for us to push out updates to the stuff
or
that
to
you
continue
paid for.
to continue to run the back-end server. This is like game death, again in a
Why
different form.
don't you buy our brand new one that we totally promise won't get end of supported very quickly?
There's so much wrong with this. They're literally saying, hey, when we turn these off, please seek out your nearest electronics recycler to sort of drop these in the bin and have them properly recycled. It's just more e-waste. And it just should rub us the wrong way, all of us. It should just be like, this is not something we should be standing for.
It's not the first time they've done this.
No, it's not.
Belkin has done this several times.
And it won't be the last. It's not just Belkin. It's a lot of different companies, especially
Logitech.
Asus.
Yep.
It's a lot of these IoT devices, cameras, smart doorknobs, doorbells, and Wemo actually has some of these devices as well. It sucks.
The only positive thing is that it's suddenly become traditional to let people know you're bricking their device instead of doing it without telling them.
Oh,
So
well, that makes it so much better.
Going for us.
Yeah, but where they say seek out your electronics recycler to dump them in the bin. You want to get rid of this because we're not supporting it anymore. Yeah. And they had light switches that are currently like literally wired into house wiring. It's ridiculous.
So yeah, definitely buy Belkin again. Oh wait.
Oh yeah.
Everyone else does it too.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep buying it, people. Though.
Welcome to Insecurity Corner, your weekly reason to drink.
Even though the last story probably should have been part of this, it technically wasn't because Brett says it's not. So let's just pretend that this is the first story from Bleeping Computer. NPM package is, it just says IS in lowercase, with 2.8 million weekly downloads, infected devs with malware. How? Then why is it called is?
Because it is.
It's a checker it's a type checker package. It's like saying, hey, is this variable an integer? Is this variable a string, et cetera, et cetera. It's a programming type checker. So it's a package that allows programmers to say, hey, what type of data am I looking at? For example.
And it's used in JavaScript, which is very unpopular and not widespread whatsoever.
Nobody uses that. So 2.8 million downloads weekly. And the way that it was compromised is very similar to something we've talked about in the past. It is an abandonment of a DNS name that essentially allows a supply chain attack because the packages would typically access this domain to look for updates, and they got some off of an abandoned DNS name because a malware vendor essentially took over that domain and was vending malware when packages came looking for updates.
And my favorite part about this is I've spent a good chunk of the last week and a half updating a bunch of people's Node.js because it was an older, vulnerable version, and I'm wondering how many of those updates pulled this down.
Yeah. So this happened several days ago, and like you said in the lead-in, 2.8 million downloads a week. So that's a lot of malware that just got injected. Oh, look.
But
Jeremy.
Yeah, don't worry. There's more. Same, but different. So this is a little bit more social engineering because as opposed to the fake North Korean IT job applicant who's just trying to get access to your system and exfiltrate all their data and money, this is North Koreans accepting job applications for IT developers, specifically JavaScript.
And you want a job, don't you?
Yeah. And hey, they're saying it's a US-based company and that this is totally on the up and up and stuff. And hey, we'd just like you to download this little node package repository, or this package from a repository, and take a look at it and troubleshoot it so that we can know that you're doing what you're doing and that how talented you are. Unfortunately, a good several dozen of these that they're downloading are actually infected with XOR index loader. So you do the job interview and they infect your system and then just happily have control over your system because you said, hey, I totally want this job. I'm totally going to accept this package. I'm going to install it and everything is great. So far, only 67 of these repositories have been identified and taken down. There are probably significantly more of them to the point where the U.S. Office of Public Affairs has posted an official warning for JavaScript programmers that, hey, if part of a job application is you downloading a little bit of a package, you might want to think twice about that. Because once it's on there, and it's just a little tiny one, which then phones home to a control server, and then because you've given that little piece of malware complete control over your system, can install whatever it feels like And, the next job application that you try and do and you connect to their system, they might actually be quite upset at you because you've now just infected them.
Yeah, so this was a double shot of NPM issues, which is same but different, but yeah.
Because we can't... how do you live without NPM?
We can't have nice things? Is that what you meant?
We definitely cannot have nice things.
Yeah, because it will always be usurped and corrupted.
This is the opposite of nice things. This is SharePoint.
Yes.
Well,
this is
Microsoft cares,
on
though.
site.
They're not going to let something bad happen to you. So they've released emergency patches for SharePoint RCE flaws exploited in attacks.
Currently being exploited.
Yes, and widely exploited, not just a little bit. It's like, if you are running SharePoint locally, 2019, 2016, God forbid something older than that, which you probably are, they are hitting this hard. Microsoft pushed out a bunch of updates, which did not help at all. So they've done an out-of-band security update, which sort of helped. And now they've pushed a second out-of-band security update, which seems to be helping a bit more. But I mean, there's a nice, this article has a nice PowerShell script that you can run to see if you've fully patched or not. But at this point, we're not even convinced that the newest patch is good enough to stop this.
You can sense how hot something is when they give you a hand-tooled Microsoft 365 Defender database query, where you can see if you have the spin stalo ASPX file that you have been infected with on your server. So check out this article if you're running anything like this. As Jeremy was talking about, there's a tool to see what patch level you're at, as well as a query on here to see if you have been affected.
Yes, because you might want to know if you've been affected.
You've been breached.
You've been breached. You don't need to
Avast, you've been boarded.
Yeah, not even that's going to save you. So yeah, it's...
No.
I'm assuming that...
That's funny.
I mean, it's a call to the past, but it's still...
Yes.
I think it's still a thing.
Thank you.
The thing is, though, that I'm pretty sure that at the very end of that script, it will pop up a thing saying, hey, have you tried an E3 license? We could just take care of your SharePoint for you. SharePoint Online, is it? I'm not saying it's an advertisement for Microsoft and they did this from the inside. I'm just saying that, it's...
You're just implying it.
Don't run SharePoint locally. It's a bad freaking idea. Next
It's also a bad idea to...
update your Chrome again.
Yeah,
and by
don't
that,
run
I mean,
Chrome
like,
without
you just
patching it.
Updated your Chrome? Update it again.
Yeah, update it again.
And there might be an update released during your update.
So there's this thing inside Chrome called the Angle, which stands for Almost Native Graphics Layer Engine. And it is an abstraction layer that sits between the web drawing engine and whatever you've got on your computer, whether that's Belkin or OpenGL or Metal or whatever. It's because obviously Chrome is cross-platform and the underlying libraries in your operating system are dramatically different depending on which operating system you're running and then eventually, what hardware you have. So there's an abstraction layer. Well, these are GPU calls. Apparently, there's a way to craft a particular URL. So it's merely browsing to a URL that drops in some GPU-specific commands in this Angle environment that essentially allows the GPU process to be overwritten and usurped remotely, and arbitrary code execution can take place on the GPU process, which should be a fairly quick step for them to gain access to your PC in its entirety. This is pretty bad. It's being exploited. It's essentially a zero-day exploit. There is a fix, but you must update right now. In fact, we're going to wait. We just waited 10 minutes.
Just update now. And I think we're going to have to start...
right after the show.
I think we're going to have to start referring to -1 day updates. Because, it's 0 day sort of implies that it was just sort of being applied at the same time we detected it. I think this one's been in the wild for a while.
Unfortunately.
Before Chrome. Yeah. Before Alphabet figured it out. So it's,
It's essentially works its way up to a sandbox exploit through a GPU call that's prefaced with a URL, and that's pretty bad because it's fairly easy to kind of craft that and exploit it.
But we are not all doom and gloom. Occasionally in the security corner, there is some nice news. There is a feel-good story.
Yeah, like Rowhammer. Remember Rowhammer? That's a feel-good story.
Oh, wait.
It's
coming to your NVIDIA HPC cards. So not just, something you have to worry about if you're running specific CPU architectures. Now you can just run it on your high-performance compute cards that you paid $20,000 and up for.
I mean, apparently GDDR6 is vulnerable to Rowhammer, as Jeremy Hellstrom writes.
Because, we've got to share the horror, right?
So, it's not horrific enough.
Yeah. So this is out of the U of T. They were the one that figured out that it's not just for your RAM anymore. They did a proof of concept attack against A6000s. And because these have a fair amount of GDDR on them, they're vulnerable. And the good news is that if you disabled system level ECC, then you're vulnerable. If you didn't, you're not. If you're not doing ECC on your LLM model, you I think are part of the problem here. You might want to stop those little random bit flips from making it go insane and becoming Mecha Hitler, but that's on you. That's your choice. Whatever.
Those are hallucinations. That's just part of the solution.
But the problem is that a lot of people are apparently disabling ECC because, hey, if I disable this error checking, I can faster. It's like half again as fast. I'm getting more than my money's worth. Generally, it's more like 10 or 15%. But still, when you're looking at money, when you're looking at the time it takes to process something, the power it takes to do it, that is going to save money over time up until you get row-hammered, in which case it's going to cost you far more in the long term.
Bleeping Computer's got a list of those cards, by the way, that are currently susceptible to this attack.
Yeah, it's Hopper and some of the newer Hopper and Blackwell are immune. That's the end of it. Everything else is pretty much vulnerable to this.
Yeah.
So Jensen, is going to just say, hey, if you update to our newest one, well, then go right ahead.
Amperes. Yep.
Yeah, Jetsons, Turing, Volta. Yeah, it's a very, very long list
of potentially
update
cards
to the
that are still being
one.
Used. Yeah,
I
just
need
simply
more
buy our newest
spatulas.
one.
Oh, and if you're running an RTX 4000 series, you are technically probably vulnerable to this.
Ouch.
God damn it.
Same architecture. 5000's not so much.
Time to upgrade. See, this is how you explain it to your significant other. It was a security concern. I had to get a 5090.
Exactly. I mean, that's the way Belkin's explaining it right now. Just upgrade to our newest whatever.
Yeah, because the stuff we sold you before is literally trash.
Literally.
Yes.
Please throw it away.
Well, recycle it. Wink, wink.
But now how about that good news story?
Is there one?
Now
Okay,
it's
let's go to the next
feel good.
story. Possibly good news. There is now a free ransomware decryptor for victims of Phobos and 8-base.
Phobos being one of the most widely spread ransomware infections out there.
Nice. This is nice.
All your data now belong to us, kind of thing.
Not so much. There was a huge bust which involved like 8 or 9 different countries. Busted some people in Russia, some in Korea and North Korea. But as a side effect of this, the Japanese police have made a decryptor available for free. You just, boom, go to their website. Thankfully, there's translation so that you can see the instruction in
It'll be
English.
packed and replaced with malware now, but yeah.
I mean, it's definitely going to be a target. But you can also grab it from Europol and a couple of other places. If you have anything that's been encrypted, try this. It may well work because it is against 2 of the longest running and most widespread ransomware as a service type attacks going on the planet. And it would just be hilarious if you could just suddenly get everything back. So yeah, it's some good news. We don't often get this, but yeah, all of a sudden, boom, all those .faust files that, along with that text file that says, please send us X amount of Bitcoin to this Dropbox here.
To this address. It's really not a lot of Bitcoin. It's like 0.1 or something Bitcoin. Okay,
Yeah,
that
but
is a lot
still,
of money, actually.
it's the principle. Not the principle, the principle.
It's different principle. Yeah.
Yes, well, it's both principle. But yes, hey, so some good news for us for a change. This appeared on Monday, and if you know anyone who's been ransomwared and is still dealing with it, give it a shot. It beats paying them and encouraging them.
You've probably thrown that computer away by now, though, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And then on August 6th, every computer that's installed this will get an image of a mushroom cloud that said, "Remember Hiroshima?"
I mean, not impossible, but I think it's more likely it'll just get ransomware itself. Now you've run ransomware, everything you know it's going to be double ransomware.
Because we know that the security agencies that host this are prime targets.
No, they're probably running Belkin light switches.
Probably.
Not anymore. All right, well, that was an uplifting end to this week's Insecurity Corner, indeed. And it's time for Gaming Quick Hits. And we'll begin with the story that features a picture of an axe and some chopped wood, freshly chopped. I'm assuming this is from Jeremy's backyard. He's doing some rugged outdoor activities. What is this all about?
This is about Microsoft Game Studios, and it's very depressing.
Oh, wait, I thought we were leaving depressing behind.
No, we were just leaving security.
This is gaming. This is gaming
depressing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Gaming security
Totally.
corner. Okay.
So, Microsoft Studios and, their associated have let go around 30,000 workers in the last 2 years. They have slashed a number of projects that people were looking forward to. They've straight out killed some of the gaming studios that they bought and promised would never die. And Rock Paper Shotgun put a link to some of the people that are still at ZeniMax. There's not many of them, but apparently morale is not doing well, and the beatings are not helping whatsoever. They've been more than decimated. You're looking at studios that have maybe 30-40% of the people left at best. And the only reason they're there is that they unionized. So they couldn't get fired straight off the bat. It's horrific. It's really messing up a lot of the gaming studios that we love. It's destroyed a bunch of the games that we were hoping would be coming out someday. But there is one little piece of good news. They realized that Randy Pitchford's, if people want to buy Borderlands 4, they'll find a way to pay for it. Didn't go over well, and maybe charging $90-$100 for Outer Worlds 2 wasn't necessarily a great idea. So they've dropped the price by $10 across the board pretty much everywhere.
Oh, that'll help.
It's nice that, it's now only $80 instead of $90, and that that the people behind the development, at least half of them aren't there anymore, so that won't impact anything whatsoever. But this is going to also cause some interesting issues for those that do not listen to our advice and pre-order the game. Because now you technically might be owed $10, and, good luck collecting that, because I think they're quite happy keeping it. It's really not looking good over there. And this includes Xbox dev stuff.
Yeah, the chat is being pessimistic, but probably completely accurate when they say that all those jobs will just be replaced by AI to write the code and do all the artwork. So,
no, that could never happen.
Of course not. Absolutely not. Microsoft would never.
No, they wouldn't.
This game brought to you by Clippy Enhanced Edition.
When outsourcing to the lowest paid nations that can do the work is still too expensive, then just have AI do it. Because they can offset carbon, by dumping human waste into pits and covering it up, and then get billions of carbon credits.
Hope you aren't referring to their ex-employees on that.
And
well, maybe.
Those could be the human. Most of the recent work that all the humans have done, the AIs have been trained on. So there's probably many years of derivative work they can churn out for probably.
So remember, kids, the better you are at doing your job, the better the AI that's replacing you learns how to do it. So occasionally screw up.
Borderlands 4 is a game that is actually going to be coming out. And you can gear up for it over at Humble Bundle. Gear up for Borderlands 4. It's a bundle for, what is it? It's a $279 value. Pay what you want. $25 gets you everything. It's 8 items. Tiny Tina's Wonderland, New Tales from the Borderlands, Tales from Borderlands 1, 2, and 3.
Borderlands 2 VR sounds nauseating.
Yeah. These are all enhanced editions. They're all like the final.
I like how they mark that many of them are Steam Deck verified or Steam Deck playable. I like that.
That is nice. Unsupported. Borderlands 2 VR. You can't play it on your Steam Deck. Not powerful enough.
But that's sort of expected. I'm gonna lay it out there.
Every other one is.
Yeah.
Come on, haven't you seen the new attachment for strapping a Steam Deck to your face and playing VR?
I was
you
thinking
fold
the same
it yourself
thing.
out of an Amazon box? Is that just cut here? Just tape it to the back?
No, that was an older version.
Oh, that's like the cereal box version. Yeah.
Hey, that was a thing in the back in the day, and it worked well.
I'm aware of that.
Our next story, it makes me a little sad, but it's expected. You can never really use a piece of software as a benchmark when they never stop updating it. And I thought we'd finally had the final update to Cyberpunk, and so I began benchmarking it anew for 2025. But no, there's another new update.
But no.
2.3 update is here.
Yes.
And it's well worth your time, says CBR. And
yeah, so 4.5 years after this game's release, they are still updating it, still patching things, still adding new content, adding new mod support. There's new vehicles. There's 4 new vehicles. 3 of them actually have new quests involved that are more than just go see this guy and buy this car. There's actual some story in it.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, and one of the new vehicles, actually, the one that you actually can just go to an auto vendor and buy, there's actually a history of it that ties to one of the Cyberpunk 2077 comic book stories. So CD Projekt Red is, still backing up this excellent story from 4.5 years ago. And, in a world where, your light switch may stop working tomorrow because somebody stopped supporting it, CD Projekt Red is backing up a game that is way older than most people keep patching games at. So.
It's so odd because didn't they come out and say, "Hey, we're ending. We're not going to do it anymore."
They totally said they were bailing on it.
We're done with this.
I felt secure in
people
that.
Have moved on. People have moved on.
And that was 2 updates ago. They've now released 2 updates since then.
That's major.
And it's because the game continues. Updates. The game continues to be incredibly popular.
And they added FSR4 to it.
Yep.
Yeah. They're adding support for newer hardware.
It's even better on AMD.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Oh, it's gorgeous on AMD now. But I got bored with my replay when I was trying to rescue the president and just a bunch of runaround quests, so I bailed on it. but maybe I can come back because I didn't kill the save games. So maybe I can come back with this new update and see. And I also want to add that mod that lets you give you the flying cars that can go up to like several thousand kilometers an hour, and you can bungee jump out of them.
I still haven't even played the game. I just benchmarked it.
It's a great benchmark. It scales so beautifully with hardware.
So nice.
You can see subtle differences sometimes in hardware using Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And I like how cars don't suddenly spawn and squish me randomly.
Yeah. That's part of gaming lore now. I mean, think of all the memes.
Still, weird stuff does happen. It's just not usually to you. It's to one of the NPCs walking around. Like you're just sort of walking around and one of them explodes because it fell from the sky, and everyone is just sort of wandering around as if it was perfectly normal.
You know, and some of this new content they've added is stuff people have been asking for, like the Delamain cab service. You can actually use the cab service as a cab service now. You can call the cab and tell it where to take you, and it will take you there. There's auto drive function in it, so you can get in your car and tell it your destination, and you just sit back and listen to Samurai and enjoy the ride.
I did really appreciate that one, because sometimes they make you drive very far and having to try and figure out how to get back onto the train and then watch that, which is also pretty, but sometimes annoying to get to.
Hey, Francois says, did a second full playthrough when 2.0 dropped.
Hasn't done that in the last 2 decades. Yeah. That's impressive.
I've done 3 full playthroughs on that game. It's a fantastic game.
Done 1.5. Well, 1 3/4 maybe. At this point, I'm turning down gold cyberware because it's not as good as the stuff I upgraded.
Shall we take a quick look at a very small portable SSD? You know, Crucial already released something called the X10 a couple of years ago, but it was the X10
what, this thing?
Pro. Hold on, let me get the camera up there. There we go. Yes.
Oh, that's
and Jeremy
the X10.
did the review. Unfortunately,
there it is.
It was a bit of a cautionary tale about not all USB-C Gen 3.2. I'm sorry, USB 3.2 Gen 2.
Yes.
So 2x2?
Because you need that second lane. If you don't have dual lane, it's not
so
going to run at full speed. I'll pull up that review.
But my Raspberry Pi does like it.
And he looked at it, but unfortunately, he was only seeing, half.
Whereas Sebastian does have it, so he's going to show off how much better his system is.
Yes. So if you have the 3.2 Gen 2 by 2 or USB 4, which will operate at that speed, it'll provide you with so many more megabytes per second. And look how small this is. Here's a box of penny matches.
Oh, that is small.
And here's that little SSD. It's about 2.5 inches by 2 inches, a little over half an inch thick. Very light. It did not weigh it. I should have. It's a few grams. I don't know how much it weighs exactly, but look at this. Theoretical maximum performance. I just ran it through Crystal Diskmark on the peak performance preset. Hit almost exactly 2100 megabytes per second. 2098.29. That rounds up. They claim 2100. Now, of course, I don't know what the Q depth was, what the transfer size was. This is at 1 gigabyte QD8 single thread. Close enough. And they don't actually rate the writes, but those were over 2005 megabytes per second. So very, very quick. Real world will always be a little bit different. I used a huge file. I just zipped up a game that was already installed on the system. It was F124, if you're curious. And then I transferred there's this sort of effect that happens because Windows will try to cache
Oh,
writes.
that's what it was. Okay, yeah.
So then once it actually
Jamming
gets
storage space.
yeah, it ended up being about 1.4 gigabytes per second, plus or minus, on both reads and writes, which is excellent for long sustained transfers. I think it was a 64 gigabyte file, and that's very good. It was very consistent at about 1.4, both reads and writes. Now, what's really interesting about this is there are a lot of drives out there that'll operate at these speeds, but this is pretty inexpensive. The 2 terabyte that they sent us for review, $171.99 is the list price. Now, with the X10 Pro, which has roughly the same performance, that launched a little under 2 years ago for $209.99. So that's it's already $38 ahead for the same speed, but it's also ahead of the competition. I was looking around on Amazon, the SanDisk 2 terabyte Extreme Pro Portable, that's about the same performance, a little bit lower, actually, only up to 2,000 megabytes per second. And it's a few dollars more, $179.99. Samsung's T9, which I did review back at the end of 2023, that one is $189.99. So it's not that much less expensive. It's just nice to see that we have another option. It's very competitive, and based on the current market prices out there, it's actually a pretty compelling little option here. So if you're looking for a very small, very fast portable SSD, they can slip into your pocket. And by the way, I should have mentioned it.
I assume they haven't changed the form factor. So
no,
yeah,
form factor is the same. Yep.
It is literally that tiny. There's your USB-C.
This one does not have any magnets on it.
Nope.
But I am sure you could find a way to attach it to the back of your iPhone, because it does work with USB-C phones and any device like that.
How are you going to stick a lobster to the back of it? Because lobster sticks to magnet.
Josh, would you like to get us? Would you like to kick off picks of the week?
Oh, I'd love to.
Would he ever?
Okay, good.
Okay, PCI 4.0 drives, of course, are still fast, even though 5.0 stuff's out. And it's getting less and less expensive. So right now, Western Digital has their 4 terabyte SN850X, which is their fastest of the 4.0, for $288 plus $20 off. So $268.35 for a fast, consistently fast, good quality NVMe SSD at 4 terabytes. So super Steam game drive. I mean, you can get cheaper ones for $199, but they're like King Max and some of the other ones that probably don't have DRAM and are not as fast, and quality is, well, happy.
Basically, you should have bought one during Prime Days. Really.
The sale is still going on for 3 more hours. So by the time you listen to this, it's over.
It'll be over.
Another sale. There'll be another sale.
It's over.
Always more sales.
Sweet.
Trying to get rid of these things.
Yeah, out with 4.0. Who needs that? You need 5. You need the full until the 6 stuff is at CES. And then there's a PCI 6.
Then it'll be all drooly and stuff. People are like, must have.
Look at the heat I'm producing from my SSD.
Oh, it's so exciting. That's why you need that big fan story that you cut.
That I did. Yeah, I did. Thank you for bringing that up. Jeremy, your pick this week.
What? I kind of wish I could justify buying a new monitor right now, because there is currently a sale going on up here in Kazakhstan for the MSI MPG 341 CQPX, which is quantum dot OLED, 34-inch, 3440 by 1400, 240 hertz refresh rate display, which got a mere 9.1 from ratings. It's quantum dot LQLED, so it's in a bright room. Your grays get a little, or your blacks get a little bit washed out. But apart from that, this is a stupidly good deal on giving yourself an excuse to upgrade to OLED. It's a very good display for this. It's not obnoxiously huge. It's not obnoxiously bright, unless you're a big fan of getting, sunburn from sitting in front of a display with HDR. My God, what is going on? I kind of wish I had the cash to buy this one right away, but I'm being responsible. You don't have to be, though. So you can go out there and buy it. I'm sure in the States it's also on a good sale.
Oh, yeah. It'll be like, if it's $11.99 Canadian, it's probably like $7.99 US. If that.
But it's one of the good ones. It's not one of the cheaper OLEDs. It's a good OLED.
All right. Thank you for that. Brett, do you have a pick this week?
I do. Just like everybody else, I chose something extremely high-tech and computer and PC-oriented. This is the Tusk tire inflator and repair kit, or trailside repair kit, as it were. I have found these to be extremely useful when reinflating a tire that has been punctured or on the trail. It even works, not a problem, on cars. The magic, of course, is in these small CO2 canisters. It comes with compressed bacon, which you can use to. It's not compressed bacon, but it is a.
So is this brought to you by Fleetwood Mac?
It is not.
Tusk. Nice
throwback. Anyway, the magic, of course, is in the small CO2 canisters, which will explode, not literally, but will pressurize a tire back onto a rim if it's been sort of driven off of it. Very, very useful to be able to do that. So it only comes with 2 or 3 of these canisters. If you're going to get this sort of thing, throw it in the car. Definitely get the extra canisters, CO2 canisters, for like $12. You get 6 more of them. Stock up, throw it in the car, throw it in the ATV, throw it on the bike, motorcycle. Fantastic addition to fixing your flat tires. But do not take internally. That's correct.
No. Your tires can, but you can't.
Yes.
You cannot. These are
you can
high pressure CO2 canisters. Yeah. And you plug the hole with bacon, and then you repressurize the tire.
All right. Kent, I can't imagine what your pick is going to be.
What's up, chooms? You getting tired of this world we're living in? You ready to go out and bust some gonks and some Borgs, some Borged out cyber psychos? Can't wait to feel them cut with your Manus blades? Well, Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition is on sale right now on GOG for under $40. That's right.
Can you do the entire segment in that voice, please?
That's a good deal.
They don't put it on sale.
$37.59 for
Ultimate.
The Ultimate Edition. It's got the Phantom Liberty expansion.
The one that bored me. I never have done Manus blades, though. I'm playing with a monowire the last bit.
Yeah, GOG for the win.
Usually.
Absolutely, I agree.
I tried a monowire, but I'd killed too many civs with it.
And your point?
My clothes got messy.
I mean, come on. If they were that important, they could afford a trauma team card.
All right, thank you for that. I do have a pick this week because we were talking about this earlier, that FLP01 case from Silverstone, and I've made this my pick before, but I was worried because the scuttlebutt is that MAINGEAR bought all the cases. Well, don't tell that to Micro Center because depending on where you live, it might be in stock. Because this is a non-shippable, in-store only item.
That's Brett's job. What are you doing bringing up?
I must admit, I must admit, the last time I was at Micro Center, I saw one of these on the shelf. There,
Oh my goodness!
Which was
Come
about
on.
How many
3
of them
weeks
did you
ago.
buy?
I wasn't given a directive to
It's
buy
in
one.
stock at most of them.
I think we've given you
the
multiple
Maryland one.
directives to buy
Parkville's
these.
out of stock, Brett.
You got to. That's not where I got to find the one in Virginia. Got to go to VA.
Okay. My Madison Heights store in
So you
stock.
got one. So you
I
got
could
'em.
drive
Scroll down to the-
2.5 hours tomorrow and go get it if I really wanted to.
Yeah,
should.
you
Just
could.
You should. You want that thing
$164.99.
so bad. You should get it.
Actually,
I'm
that's
turning
less.
sour
That's less
grapes
than
on
it
this.
was. That's less
I've
than it was.
decided, no.
164.
I don't want it that much. It's too expensive.
You stop.
I have
You're such a tease
horizontal
now.
computer
Gun to
cases.
you off screen.
I don't need this. I don't need it. Actually, I like the vertical one better, the FLPO2.
So do I. I want
So
the
I was
vertical
thinking
one.
maybe- because that would be
I
less
want my
cramped.
turbo button.
The turbo
The
button. Yes,
turbo
there is a
button.
turbo button in the new one, the FLPO2.
Yes, there
so
is.
save your dollars for that one. Let MAINGEAR buy all of these. Let them shove it full of Noctua fans you can't even see from the outside. And then we'll move on to the FLPO2.
I wasn't
all
going
I
to put
have to say about
alphas
that.
in there or deltas.
Yeah,
That's
the,
right.
The real
It's
retro experience.
Turbo time.
It's like, oh, my retro computer needs to be totally silent and run Windows 11. Wrong. Needs to have a crunchy hard drive, loud fans with bad bearings.
Oh,
And a zip
And-
drive that's just about failing.
when you can feel a seeking hard drive in the desk or the floor. Yeah, that's where it was at.
And those little beeper simulators of there are simulators for hard drive sounds you can use that, but they only have one tone. When they come up with one of those that has a speaker that can simulate the different, like the popcorn sound, I can't do it, but
Yeah.
it's not just one tone. It's a series of sounds. Anyway, it's getting late, and I think it's time to say goodnight. And we will be back next week. Don't worry. I don't care if I have to do it by myself.
No one's
We
gonna get
will
sick.
podcast next week, unless we don't, and then we'll probably let you know, or not. But
Probably. The YouTube chat did ask, hey, could you send out an email and let us know next time? I mean, I think you notified the Patreon members, which
I did.
was nice.
Patrons,
Which was
they
nice.
get special treatment. But yeah, last
They
time
do.
I think I tweeted it out. So if that happens again, I'll remember to tweet it as well. And yeah, we'll communicate
and
better.
I'm sorry I got sick. I was really trying to cultivate something new, something fresh, really sort of a patient zero sort of thing going on. Couldn't quite pull it off. I think I'm getting better.
That's Sebastian's job.
It is, usually.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And until next time, good night.